स्वराज्य साम्राज्य विभूतिरेषा भवत्कृपा श्रीमहिमप्रसादात् प्राप्ता मया श्रीगुरवे महात्मने नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु नमो नमस्तेस्तु पुनर्नमोस्तु। नमस्तस्मै सदैकस्मै कस्मै चिन्महसे नमः यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते यदेतद्विश्वरूपेण राजते गुरुराजते। हरि ओं तत्सत्। तमीश्वराणां परमं महेश्वरम् तं देवतानां परमं च दैवतं पतिं पतीनां परमं परस्तात् विदामदेवं भुवनेशमीड्यम् य एतद् विदुरामृता स्ते भवन्ति य एतद् विदुः अमृतास्ते भवन्ति य एतद् विदुः अमृतास्ते भवन्ति न तस्य कार्यं करणं च विद्यते न तत्समश्चाभ्यधिकश्च दृश्यते परास्य शक्तिर्विविधैव श्रूयते स्वाभाविकी ज्ञानबलक्रिया च स्वाभाविकी ज्ञानबलक्रिया च एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लिप्तो एष देवो विश्वकर्मा महात्मा सदा जनानां हृदये सन्निविष्टः हृदा मनीषा मनसाभिक्लिप्तो य एतद् विदुरमृता स्ते भवन्ति य एतद् विदुरमृता ते भवन्ति य एतद् विदुः amritaste bhavanti. Yaitat viduhu amritaste bhavanti. Hari. This Upanishadic Rishi is saying, natasya karyam karanam cha vidyate. He does not have any duty, anything to be done. Not only that, he doesn't have the implements, neither hands nor feet, to do anything. But asya parashaktir vividhaiva shruyate. But it is his supreme power which is appearing as the whole universe, the unimaginable, tremendous activities going on all over the universe. It is all his jnana bala kriya. Jnana bala kriya. It is the knowledge which is appearing as the power and the activities, but it is called kriya, not karma. That is why I recited this verse. For the truth, for the Brahman, which is our own real identity, which we are in reality, all the activities, they are all sahaja, they are all svabhavika. They are not motivated by any desire at all. It is all desireless. There comes the difference. The whole universe is moving with tremendous activities, even close to us. The earth is running around the sun in unimaginable speed. The moon is going around the earth. So many plants are growing, the sea is in motion, everything is in motion, everywhere. But there is no desire at all behind that. It is all sahaja, swabhaviki, jnana bala kriyaja. When the desires are taken out as motivation, when they are no more the motivation, then we don't call it karma, we call it kriya. And what is this kriya? Jnana bala kriya. It is the fundamental position is knowledge. That is why we have given the name Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha. Seek refuge in intelligence. I will go word by word each thing. What is the refuge? What is seeking the refuge in the intelligence? And first of all, what is this intelligence that our Shastras are speaking about? It is not the effortful intelligence which always fragments the world, limits everything, and analyzes on the basis of fragmentation. They are talking about the intelligence which is the integral intelligence, where there is no fragmentation at all. This truth of the transcendental nature of our identity has been repeatedly declared, announced, re-emphasized by our scriptures, particularly the Upanishads. But generally the Upanishadic knowledge pursuit, it is called kevala jnana nishtha. That means exclusive knowledge pursuit. Most of us are not fit for that pursuit, which you can easily know that most of the people, those who have been initiated by Swamiji also, we come to know, they say that when they sit for meditation, the mind runs around. The mind does not get fixed to the truth. If they read the Shastras, they say that when Swamiji, we listen to you, we get inspired. We get the meaning of it. But when we read it ourselves, we don't feel any inspiration. We feel it is dull, it is boring. It is because our mind is not able to have we are not able to have the emotional association with the truth. Because our mind, our intelligence Our entire being has been taken away by so many things of the world. It is always attracted and repelled by the world. The world will always remain variegated. The fault is not with the world. The fault is with us, with our mind. Even a knower also stays in the same world. He interacts with the same people, the same surroundings. But how is it that his mind does not get distracted? So it is the trouble is not with the world but with the mind. And Bhagavad Gita has pinpointed this trouble as raga dvesha, our clinging to what we like and hating what we dislike. Raga dvesha. Raga means clinging to what we like, and dvesha means hating what we dislike. Likes and dislikes will be there, although we often say that it is transcending likes and dislikes, but some likes and dislikes always will be there. Suppose the brahmacharis or brahmacharinis in the ashram, they are all very pure and good. Will not it be liked by the guru? If they are always impure and they are quarreling with each other, always there is fight going on, then which guru will like such a situation? But the difference comes that he will not cling to the like and hate the dislike. That is, when the disciples are not behaving in the manner they should do, the guru will not send them away, will not run away from them also. He, as long as it is possible, a free possibility is there to correct, he will try his best to bring them up, purify them and lead them to the same position where he stands. The Guru's only intention is to make the disciple like him, like himself. Now, because this Upanishadic Vidya, the Kevala Jnana Nishtha, we are not, most of us are not fit for that. This sadhana remained limited to a few renunciates and in the forest hermitages. There, the Bhagavad Gita came with a revolutionary presentation, making the sadhana available to all, working in any field of activity, anywhere in the world. That is the speciality of Bhagavad Gita. Now, because in Bhagavad Gita, the sadhana has been made for everybody with one condition, provided you want the ultimate goal, to reach the ultimate goal or to attain the benefits professed by the Bhagavad Gita, then it is meant for you. So the whole Bhagavad Gita is sadhana oriented. That too, the sadhana is for all. Anybody can pick up the sadhana which is suitable to him, which he can follow, and he can pursue that sadhana. Now, Bhagavad Gita's analysis over the whole evolution of man is very interesting. It has pinpointed our main trouble, that we are born with abhava bodha. Abhava bodha. That means feeling of lack, feeling of insufficiency in us. Why Bhagavad Gita says that? It is very simple. Anybody can understand. Suppose whatever we are doing, if we ask that why are you doing this? Well, I will get a salary at the end of the month. Okay. What will you do with the salary? Yes, it is necessary to feed my people. Yes, you have fed your people. Then what? Finally, the answer will come that only then I will become happy. You can think anything we are doing, anywhere, anytime, even thinking. It is because we feel that by doing this we will gain something which will make me happy. Is it not? You think about anything what you have done throughout your life. It is always to the thinking that by doing this I will gain this, I will gain that, and finally by that I will become happy. But truly speaking, we don't analyze the situation well. We don't think well. We don't apply our buddhi or viveka buddhi. When we look around, have we found a single person in the world, present or past, over the thousands of years, who has become permanently fulfilled by gaining anything from the world? Think of money. The richest persons, the richest people in the world, are they happy, fulfilled permanently? No. The most famous people in the world, have they become happy permanently by gaining fame? No. Anything you think that it is always we think that by doing this I will become happy. When that is done and you become happy for some time, maybe a few minutes or days maximum, immediately all other things cloud our mind, other desires which disturbs our mind, and we start feeling unhappy. We never think that by gaining anything from the world, I am not going to become happy permanently. Then what is this trouble? That why are we looking for happiness? And where lies that happiness? That is what Bhagavad Gita analyzed in the beginning. Bhagavad Gita analyzed and came with the finding that we are getting engaged in karma because of this desire to become happy. It is like tying a carrot. You must be knowing of the ass, and the master had a idle ass. It will not move by itself. So he made a contraption with a stick. In the front of it, of the stick, he hung the carrot. And whenever he would like the ass to move, he will put that in front, and to eat the carrot, the ass will move forward. But as he moves, the carrot goes farther and farther ahead. He is never able to get the carrot. Think well, is it not the same with us also? The carrot of happiness. We are running after the carrot of happiness, never getting the carrot at all. We may get a little licking, but finally the carrot eludes us. So, is it then the happiness will ever remain elusive? We will never be able to attain happiness. The analysis is that when our desire is fulfilled, we feel that we are happy, thinking that we have become happy by the fulfillment of the desire. But truly, what makes us happy is the elimination of the desire. Suppose something you desire intensely, which we are craving for eagerly, intensely. When that is fulfilled, when you gain that, your happiness is more intense. Is it not so? You become intensely happy for a while, till another desire comes in and takes away the happiness. It is the disturbance of the mind because of the intense desire. When the intense disturbance is gone, and that intense desire had kept away all small dissatisfactions, small unhappiness, they were overlooked. For a certain time, when some desire is intense, that will cover up all other needs. You will not bother about it. Even if you go without food, something you need intensely, you will run after that. You will not bother about food or staying arrangement, nothing you will bother about. So they are kept away. So when such a desire is fulfilled, you get a stable mind, a peaceful mind for a certain time, which gives you the feeling of happiness or fulfillment. So when we analyze, we find that it is actually not the fulfillment of the desire, but it is the elimination of the desire which makes us happy. We can take various examples for that. If it is elimination of desire, then can we not eliminate the desires right in the beginning and do everything out of happiness? Because the moment we eliminate the desire, we will become happy and we will do everything out of happiness, not for gaining happiness at the end. So we reject the carrot right in the beginning and we go to a position where we solve the problem within us. Generally, what are we trying here? We are trying to solve the problem outside in the situation. When something has gone wrong, suppose a person is abusing us, that is something outside in the situation. We immediately lose our self-centeredness. Either we counter abuse or we feel very upset about it. Our mind gets destabilized. So we lose our self-centeredness so easily that somebody is abusing. Maybe there is no truth in it. Even then, we lose our self-centeredness. Are we not slave to the circumstances then? Anything, a little food one day has gone a little wrong, that upsets us. If the habitat is not proper, where we are staying is not proper, there is some trouble. We get upset about it. So our peace, our happiness is always depending on the outside. And we are never able to become permanently happy at all. So the fact is that the trouble is in the beginning. We are trying to set right the world. But what we have to set right within ourselves. Where the happiness is getting born, that mind, that buddhi has to be corrected. And that is fully under our power to change, to set our clock right, that is set our mind, set our buddhi in the proper manner, so that we are able to solve the problem. With that mind, then we can try to solve the external problem also. But whenever there is an external problem, immediately our focus is outside, but the trouble is inside. We have to first set right our problem within. That is why Bhagavad Gita in the beginning itself, in 2.49, it is saying that Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha. This is what we have taken as the title of today's talk. Buddhau Sharanam Anvicha. It means seek refuge in intelligence. Now, how to seek refuge in intelligence, and what does refuge mean? And what does intelligence represent here? All these things we have to understand well. 2, we will just chant the shlokas. It comes in 2.49, second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, 49th verse. Durena hyabaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanamanvecha kripana phalahetavaha. Durena hyabaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanamanvecha kripana phalahetavaha. See, they are saying buddhi yoga. We often refer to Bhagavad Gita as karma yoga. But truly speaking, what Bhagavad Gita yoga is a buddhi yoga. Shloka after shloka, chapter after chapter, you will find what Bhagavad Gita discusses is an evolution, a progressive evolution of our buddhi. It is starting with the definition of yoga, which is given in 2.48. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. So yoga has been defined as samatva there. And what is samatva? It is remaining even-minded in siddhi as well as asiddhi. That means success and failure. In other shlokas, it is sukha and dukkha. That is in the duality, in all the different dualities, keeping our mind even. And how can we keep it? It is only by treating our mind with buddhi. That is the fundamental sadhana of Bhagavad Gita. So, time and again it has been discussed in Bhagavad Gita that it is the transformation of the buddhi. It is seeking refuge in the buddhi and finally identifying the Shuddha Buddhi, where the buddhi will be pure and will be able to lead us to the ultimate goal. In 2.39, in the second chapter, 39th verse, where he is introducing this yoga, he says, Esha te bhita sankhye buddhir yoge tvimam shrinu buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. He says that whatever is the knowledge pursuit I have told you, Arjuna, now I will tell you the yoga buddhi. I will tell you what is this yoga, by which this yoga buddhi, by taking refuge in it, you can overcome all the bondages created by our karma. Why karma is creating bondage? Because our karma is motivated by desire. We are thinking of gaining something, and for that we are performing the karma. So when the desired fruit is had, then we feel elated for some time. When it is not had, we feel depressed. Not only that, as long as the ultimate goal is not reached, we feel anxious, we feel the anxiety, whether I will be able to gain it or I will not be able to gain it. And that anxiety also affects our performance, whatever we are planning to do, that performance. Now, whenever Bhagavad Gita is talking about phala, about the result, we should be very clear that it is not the objective result it is speaking about. Bhagavad Gita is repeatedly talking about phalatyaga, that is not to cling to the result. Bhagavad Gita is not speaking about the objective result, because objective result is following the causality. You cannot reject it. Suppose you wanted to come to the satram, you walk from your home and walk on the proper path, you will reach the satram. That is the result of your walk. The karma you did to reach here, you have reached. You cannot say that, no, I don't want to reach. After reaching, you cannot say. It is meaningless. You want to produce something in the factory. You plan the factory according to that. You want to produce shoes, the factory should produce shoes and nothing else. And when the shoes come out, you cannot say that, no, I don't want this result. As far as the objective result is concerned, there is no question of rejecting the result at all. This should be understood very clearly. What Bhagavad Gita says, phala, is the carrot just now I have said. That happiness out of the result. That is, we think that we will become happy by doing it. We do anything to gain certain thing from the world, and by doing that, by gaining that, I will become happy. In the 18th chapter, it says clearly that ishtam anishtam mishrancha, anishtam ishtam mishrancha, anishtam ishtam mishramcha, trividha karmana phalam. The three kinds are the result of the karma. What are the three? Ishta means whatever we desired. Anishta means whatever we have, it is undesired, reverse of it, reverse of desired. And Mishra means a middle, somewhere in between the two. All these three are within us, that whatever the result is, we want to become happy. That is the result. So when we have to isolate the result from the karma, it means that we will not tag our happiness to the final gaining of the final result. In that case, what will happen? We will be able to do the work properly in a balanced mind, because we will not be feeling anxious or anxiety about whether I will get the result or not. And the result to the best of possible, whatever we have performed, according to that it will come. But whether it comes or not, our happiness will not depend on that. When we are fully devoted to the work without considering the result, then automatically we will be work out of happiness, from happiness. Now to do this, Bhagavad Gita has suggested yajna. Yajna as a method to have this refuge of intelligence. How can the yajna take us to that? The definition of yajna in Bhagavad Gita is absolutely different from our Veda Karma Kanda. Because in the Vedas, Karma Kanda, the yajna is performed desiring a certain fruit, either in this life or in the other life, heaven, hell, etc. Not to go to the hell or go to some best of the heaven, etc. They are related to all that. Or in this life to get some children or anything of that sort, or to win the war. So yajna is always performed with phalakangsha, with the desire for attaining some fruit. That is the Vedic yajna. Whereas the definition of yajna in Bhagavad Gita is whenever we do something without aiming at the result, as a sacrifice to the Lord, it becomes a yajna. That means when we are doing as the whole universe, as I said in the beginning, the whole universe, everything is being done without any desire anywhere. The plants are growing, the flowers are blossoming, the moon is running around the earth is running around the sun. There is no desire at all. All these activities are going on. Like that, our body, mind, personality is a product of the world. It is a product of nature. So whatever the capacities of our body, mind, personality, and whatever is the demand of the situation, according to that, our body, mind, personality will perform whatever to be done. Then that becomes a yajna. That means we are keeping away our selfish aim of becoming happy by doing something. That this I will do, only there is a possibility of becoming happy by gaining something by doing this. And this is constantly keeping us unhappy. If we keep it away, then we will be doing everything from happiness alone. Suppose when a person starts meditating, initially, when he starts meditating, he may not succeed and he may have dejection and all that. But once he succeeds and he says that he became absolutely blissful, but he does not think about what happened in meditation. In meditation, when he becomes blissful, actually at that time he had forgotten the world. He had forgotten himself also. When we forget the world means world including our own identity also, our own body, mind, personality also. That's a product of the world. When we forget everything, then we become happy, we become blissful. Then, does the bliss depend on anything from the world? This is my first question, that we can analyze it to understand what Bhagavad Gita says. That is it by gaining something from the world we become happy, or is it by forgetting everything that we want to gain that we become happy? But generally those who meditate, they will not think in that manner. The moment they become happy or blissful in meditation, repeatedly in the meditation they will again try to attain that happiness, that blissfulness through meditation. And if they don't get it, normally they will not, because when you are attempting it, you will not get. They start becoming dejected, even stopping meditation also. This is what happens. But actually, if we analyze with our buddhi there, then we understand that it is the complete elimination of all kinds of desires, all kinds of ragadvesha, the hatred and clinging, that had given us the happiness in meditation. So if when I am not meditative, when I am interacting also, if I can get rid of this ragadvesha, get rid of this selfish aim to gain something by which I will become happy, then the whole life will become a fulfilled life. We will go on doing everything out of happiness and not for gaining happiness by doing and gaining something from the world. There is a verse which says, it is actually a story when a king was going to a temple. One day he asked, you must be knowing this story, it's a very common story. He asked that, is there any saint whom I can meet? Generally, the cultured saints will look for such meeting some Mahatma. So he was directed to a Mahatma who is sitting under a peepal tree or so, banyan tree. He went there and spoke to him, met him. He liked the Mahatma very much. And then he started regularly visiting the Mahatma. He developed lot of fondness for him. Then one day, when he more and more understood what the Mahatma represented, he wanted to have the enrichment, inner enrichment as the Mahatma has. What is the way? He asked for Diksha or initiation from the Mahatma. And he became a disciple. After he became a disciple, he started visiting the Mahatma all the more. And identity was more. He started feeling that the Mahatma is wearing the bark of a tree. It is so harsh and tough. The Mahatma must be feeling discomfort because of that. So one day he came with a silken dress colored in orange, the silken dress, and offered it to the Mahatma, saying that this valkala or the bark of the tree must be giving you a lot of pain. So I would like you to wear this silken dress. Actually, there might be a little other thing also, because when the king takes to a guru, he wants his guru to be also special like a king who will wear the silk and all. So there is an ego involved in that also, in offering the silken dress, because generally a good offering will be, you will ask the Mahatma that, shall I give you this, shall I give you that, will it be useful for you? But it is the king's ego. It is not only the king's, for rich people also it will be there, that whatever they feel they want to offer and they want the Mahatma to use it. These are all subtle egoistic movements in our mind. So he offered the silk, explaining to the Mahatma that I want you to wear this silk because you must be feeling lot of pain. So the Mahatma replied that, Vayamiha paritushta valkalais tvam dukulaihi samaiha paritosho nirvishesho visheshaha satu bhavati daridro yasya trishna vishala manasija paritushte koorthavan ko daridraha. He says that Vayamiha paritushtaha valkalaihi tvam dukulaihi. Dukula means silk. He says that we are contented, satisfied with this valkala, with this bark of the tree. And you, king, you are satisfied with a silken dress, dukulaihi. But as far as the inner contentment is concerned, is there any difference? I am getting out of wearing this, you are getting out of wearing the silken dress. But as far as the inner contentment is concerned, is there any difference? He says, Sama iha paritosho. the paritosha is equal, even. Nirvishesho visheshaha. What is that? The speciality of this satisfaction is that it does not have any speciality. Nirvishesho vishesha. This is a very intricate word used here. Nirvisheshaha means which does not have visheshaha. Visheshaha means speciality. So the speciality of this satisfaction is it does not have any speciality. From here my name has come. Swamiji has given my name Nirvishesha. Nirvisheshananda. Nirvisheshananda means who enjoys or who is delighted in not having any speciality. Because Swamiji would sometimes ask me that is it this way or that way? I would always say that this way this is all right, that way that is all right. So somewhere everything a balancing comment would be given. So when he gave me sannyasa, he gave me the name Nirvisheshananda. So here it is Nirvishesho Visheshaha. That means its speciality is that it has no speciality at all. Satu bhavati daridro yasya trishna vishala. A person becomes poor whose desire is big, whose trishna, whose akanksha, whose desires are huge. He will always remain poor. Why? Because whatever, even with crores of money also he will not be satisfied. As suppose somebody has billions, but he is not the richest person in the world, he will still be poor in his mind because he wants to become the richest person in the world. He will never be satisfied by that. This we will find in Kathopanishad. Nachiketa also told Yamaraja the same thing. That as long as the desires are there, a man will never be really rich or satisfied. So a man becomes fulfilled by eliminating the desire, not by having more and more riches in any form. Satu bhavati daridro yasya trishna vishala. A person becomes poor when his trishna, when his desires are huge. Manasija paritushte korthavan ko daridraha. When the mind is fulfilled, how does it matter who is a poor person and who is a rich? The riches and the poverty will not have any effect on his mind. His mind is fulfilled. So, how it is that we will do the activities, whatever we are doing, we will perform the activities. But instead of producing bondage, the activities themselves will take us to liberation. That is the speciality of Bhagavad Gita. Normally in Upanishadic pursuit, the activities are considered as hindrance to our pursuit and our fulfillment. The activities are shunned. The pursuit is taken up by people who have renounced everything of the world, who are no more engaged in any activities of the world. So all worldly activities are considered as bondage there. They are all hindrance. But Bhagavad Gita says that the same activities, you cannot expect all people to renounce the activities and take to the Kevala Jnana Nishtha or the Upanishadic pursuit. They have to be active in the world, pursuing their suitable activities. But at the same time, they can change their mindset, they can change their attitude by applying their intelligence, so that the activities, instead of causing bondage, the activities themselves will take them to liberation. This is the greatest contribution of Bhagavad Gita. That here the activities are not shunned, but by transformation of the attitude with which we perform the activities will themselves take us to the liberation. And what is the change there? Bhagavad Gita has suggested various methods for this, but all of them in the finally all of them will take us to the same level. The one method, just as I have told you, is the yajna, that considering everything is a sacrifice to the universal yajna of the Lord, so that our ego and our desires are all offered there. They are not there at all. We do it whatever we can do, whatever our body, mind, personality can do, whatever is the necessity of the surroundings according to that. The other one that he has introduced is the samatva. I have told that samatva yoga, that is, the buddhi should always analyze that our mind should not be looking for the carrot of happiness, looking for the gain, that only when we get the desired result, then only I will be happy. And I am looking for the desired result. In that we should be careful. It is not that the desired result will not be had. That is, objectively, when we are planning, suppose a factory we are planning, we have to know that what am I wanting to produce. That kind of a factory has to be put up. All the planning has to be done. We have to get the advice from all the expert people in that, plan it very well so that the factory produces what I want. So it is not that the desired result which is produced, the objectively, that is objective result will follow the causality. As we have planned well, as we have executed well, so will be the result. There is no change at all. The problem is that whether we are happy with the result or not, and whether we are unhappy. Now, even if the result is not proper, we have to understand that what has gone wrong, which has caused the wrong result. There is no problem in that. But if we don't get the result, then that affects us adversely. And not only that, it is right from the beginning, our mind starts getting agitated. Will I get that result or not? So our focus is not on the action, but it depends on the activity, what we are on the result, what we are clinging to. So, not to cling to the ultimate result, which is not the objective result, but my happiness, my success and failure, my sukha and dukkha, that is causing the problem. So in this shloka itself, you will find that buddhau sharanamanvichha kripana phalahetavaha. This, what is the taking refuge in intelligence and what is not taking refuge in intelligence, here itself it has been mentioned. What is that? Kripana phalahetavaha. That means it is a constriction of the mind which is always looking for the happiness at the end of it. That phala. It is not the objective phala. Then whole Bhagavad Gita will become meaningless. If you are not focusing on the objective result, then we cannot do anything. No work will be done properly. Here the phala hetavaha is just to become happy I am doing it. I am not doing for anything else. I am doing it only for my happiness. That is the result. That is the phala Bhagavad Gita is talking about. So one who clings to that phala alone and clinches his all activities to that phala, he is a kripana. He is a kripana. That means he is a miserly. He has a constriction of the mind. This constriction of the mind will go provided we intelligently think about our activity and keep our mind away from this clinging to the result which we are always, our tendency is to do always. So, this buddhi, in all our scriptures, it has been referred to as viveka buddhi. That is, the buddhi has got two faculties, two factions. One is the Vishaya buddhi, another is the Viveka buddhi. Vishaya buddhi means which is always we are utilizing in working in the world, always we are utilizing. Even a thief a good thief will have a great Vishaya Buddhi. He has to know how to be successful in stealing. Anybody doing anything will have to apply his intelligence Buddhi. It is called Vishaya Buddhi. Whereas what the scriptures ask us to take resort to or take refuge to is the Viveka Buddhi. Viveka Buddhi generally in our scriptures is analyzed as Nityanitya Vastu Viveka. That is which Buddhi is always discriminating between permanent and impermanent. That is, we have to always discriminate between what is permanent happiness and what is temporary happiness, and look for the permanent always. But permanent and temporary may be quite far off, always looking for the permanent and temporary. For a serious seeker, it is possible. He looks for the Atma, which never undergoes any change. He looks for Brahman, which never undergoes any change. But for ordinary people, what can be the Viveka? For a person involved in all kinds of worldly activities, what can be the Viveka? There our Shastra says that it is the discrimination between Shreyas and Preyas. That is, to discriminate between what will take us to the final auspicious goal and what might be immediately pleasant but will take us away from the auspicious goal. Particularly in Kathopanishad, there are quite a few shlokas which says that the nature always comes before us with two baskets. We have to make the choice. One basket is preyas, that means what is immediately pleasurable. And the other basket is shreyas, which may not be immediately pleasurable, but which in the ultimate level will take me to the auspicious goal. This is very clear to everybody. Any discipline is not immediately pleasurable. Suppose a child, he doesn't want to study initially, he wants to play alone. But does the auspicious goal lie in playing throughout? He has to study. So, forced by the parents, he starts studying. And later on, when he gets the freedom in the world of literature, then when we ask him, then he will understand that because I took to the discipline of learning the letters, learning the alphabet, grammar, language, etc., now I am able to read the books, read everything and take the joy of it. So, any discipline is initially, people may not like it, but the discipline will take us to the ultimate freedom. To get any freedom in the world, we need a discipline to be followed. It is true not only in studies, it is true everywhere. In music, in sports, whatever you think, to get the ultimate freedom in that world, we need a discipline to be undergone. So, it is the Viveka which will put us into the judgment of what will be ultimately beneficial to us. Suppose we have an option before us to take some wrong method, either say bribing or anything which is not a righteous method, to get a higher position by which I can get more money, more power, more higher position, everything. Externally I am getting lot of gain, and I may think that because I am looking for gain, kripanaha phalahetavaha, so I am looking for more and more gain, like that I think that I will become happy by gaining that. But what happens is that when we take to that, something within us, it speaks differently. We feel that we have become small within. We feel that we have become weak within. By taking to the wrong means, although externally I have got many things, but internally we become weak, we become small. We shrink, we become contracted. So, Viveka will tell us that no, this is not Shreyas. This might be Preyas. It will give me power, it will give me money, it will give me position. But it will take me away from the ultimate auspicious goal, where my mind will be expanded like the universe, where I will be always joyous. I will be joyously doing everything, whatever I do. I will not have any constriction in my mind. So this is the Viveka Buddhi, which initially tells us where lies Shreyas and where lies Preyas. Not only it tells us, it may tell us, everybody will understand, but after it tells us where lies Shreyas, if we don't follow the Shreyas, if we follow the Preyas, then it is not called Viveka Buddhi. That is, I have the discriminatory power to know this will take me to Preyas and this will take me to Shreyas. But after knowing also I take to Preyas, I don't take to Shreyas. Then we don't call it, it is discrimination, okay, but we don't call it Viveka Buddhi. So Viveka will always take us to the Shreyas. Now taking refuge, this anvichha, this word means taking refuge in the intelligence. Taking refuge means I will not take refuge in anything else at all. That means when the Viveka is telling me that this is the Shreyas, then money, position, fame, nothing can take me away. Refuge means Sharanagati. That means I am taking to that in preference to everything else in the world. So taking refuge to the Buddhi means, first of all there the Buddhi means the Viveka Buddhi. And taking refuge to the Viveka Buddhi means, that I will always opt for what the Viveka says. That Viveka will always direct me to the Shreyas in preference to the Preyas. And I will have to opt for that. I will have to follow that path. That is the Viveka Buddhi. So, it is just opposite to Phalahetavaha. That Kripanaha Phalahetavaha means those who are always wanting some gain and that thinking that gain will make me happy. They are after that gain, after the selfish gain. They are, Kripanaha means they are constricted. Their mind is constricted. They remain small. Whereas the Viveka Buddhi always takes us from further expansion of our mindset. And there, as we progress, we reach closer and closer to our real identity. What is our real identity? You will find the whole scriptures everywhere, they say the Atma is only one, universal. Atma is not limited by the body, mind, personality. What we consider to be our soul, jiva, limited by the body, mind, personality, it is only in association with the body, mind, personality, our illusion, opposited ego, that we are considering to be our identity. The real identity is universal. It is not limited by our body, mind, personality at all. And that is the goal of entire spirituality. The whole spirituality, the Upanishadic Vidya, the goal is, we call it Brahmatmaikatva Bodha. We start from Dehatma Bodha. Dehatma Bodha means we consider our body, mind, personality to be what I am. By I, throughout the day we are using that I, but meaning that small I, that egoistic I, associated with my body, mind, personality. The whole purpose of spirituality is to take us to, ultimately to the Brahma Atma Ekatva Bodha, Brahmatma Ekatva Bodha. That means when we find that what I considered to be my I is the substratum of the whole universe, the consciousness on which the whole universe is appearing to be. Now when I say the whole universe, it includes my body, mind, personality also. My body, mind, personality is a small speck in the whole universe. So, the consciousness in which the whole universe is appearing, the whole universe which includes my body, mind, personality as a small speck, then can I call that consciousness within the body? Or the body is within the consciousness? So, this real identity we have is universal identity in which the whole universe is appearing to be. It is the substratum of the whole universe. That is our goal. But whatever spiritual sadhana we do, we, by the sadhana, by proper sadhana, every moment we approach that. Suppose that Brahman, the substratum of the whole universe, it is never affected by anything happening in the universe. It never gets tainted by anything happening anywhere. So, but we always feel that I am getting tainted, I am getting affected. So more and more we use our viveka to identify ourselves with this unaffectedness. We approach our soul, the real identity more and more. More and more we feel unaffected by whatever is happening around us. We are coming closer and closer to the soul. It slowly takes us from the small, always jittery, affected identity to a vast sea identity, ocean identity, spatial identity, sky identity, where everything is happening. My body, mind, personality is doing its own work, but I am remaining unaffected by anything happening anywhere. Now initially it is while doing, we are doing with the jajna bhavana, that jajna bhumi we call it, jajna bhavana, jajna buddhi or jajna bhumi. That means when we are doing, we are considering that my body, mind, personality is a small speck in the nature, in the universe. With that, whatever is possible, I am contributing in the universal yajna of the Lord. The Lord, the whole universe is His yajna, in which I am also contributing with my body, mind, personality. There is no personal gain involved. I am not doing to become happy or anything. This is what my body, mind, personality can offer in the yajna of the universal Lord. And that is what I am doing. Now as we go on doing this yajna, finally we approach more and more our soul. So this yajna finally takes us to yoga. That is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. It is every chapter is a yoga. That is whatever is discussed in the chapter, the purpose of that is to lead us to this yoga. What is that yoga? The yoga is the fusion of that small egoistic construed identity that we have, the fusion of that identity, the dissolution of that identity in the real identity, the real universal Atma or Brahman. That is the yoga. Now it is always we are in Viyoga, although we are that, but we don't know that we are. So we are always thinking that I am separate, everybody is separate, I am segregated from everything. Everything is looked at with the fragmentation, fragmented buddhi. That I gets dissolved in the universal I. So that initially it starts with the Viveka Buddhi by differentiating between what will take me to the ultimate aim of the auspicious aim of my real identity and what will take me away. That Viveka Buddhi slowly as we approach the truth, it takes the form of Brahma Buddhi. That means we see Brahman and Brahman everywhere. That is no more the Viveka, then it becomes no more distinguishing or discriminating between this or that, but everything becomes Brahman. The purpose, the ultimate goal of Viveka becomes fulfilled there. The ultimate goal of Yajna becomes fulfilled there. The Yajna becomes Yoga, the Viveka Buddhi becomes Brahma Buddhi. Samatva Buddhi also, it is the same thing. He says that Nirdosham hi samam brahma tasmat brahmani te sthitaha. One whose mind has attained the samatva in everything, he has attained Brahman. How? Because Brahman means non-differential. There is no distinction, no difference at all. So it starts with, we should remember as a summary, that in Upanishadic Vidya, the purpose of Upanishadic Vidya is same, identical as Bhagavad Gita. The purpose is to move from the Dehatma Buddhi to Brahmatmaikatva Buddhi. From the small, fragmented, constricted feeling of I-ness in us to the universal I. This is the purpose in both. That I, universal I, is no longer the individualistic I at all. It is the consciousness in which the whole universe is appearing to be. Now, in Upanishadic pursuit, this is done by constantly ruminating on the concept of the Atma, the concept of Brahman, and constantly thinking about it, that if this is the I, then why my I is different from this I? So constantly meditating, doing manana on that, thinking, ruminating on the truth of that I, we slowly approach. When all the questions are answered, in that process, what happens? The buddhi gets transformed. With buddhi, we are analyzing that where lies the difference, what is this I, what is this Atma, what is this Brahman. The more and more we think about the Atma, the buddhi becomes the Atma. It is a process of transformation. It is not that we are gaining the knowledge from the book, that I have read the Upanishads and I have known that this is Atma. That Atma is I. It has to become real of me. It has to become a first-hand discovery for me. So it cannot be taken from the book. But what happens in studying the Shastras is that constantly meditating on it. Throughout our life we are constantly getting engaged in the fragmented world, likes and dislikes, raga, dvesha, everywhere the fragmented world we are interacting with. Instead of that, we start making our mind and intelligence interact with the truth, with the one single universal truth. By that, our mind and intelligence becomes one, becomes purified, takes to that uniformity, so that finally that Atma, our mind becomes the Atma. Now, there it is the constant Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. Listening to the truth, then thinking about the truth, then constantly in one flow meditating on the truth, finally becoming the truth. Whereas in Bhagavad Gita practice, we are involved in the world. You cannot think of constantly contemplating and meditating in that manner. So we are interacting with the world, but normally we interact always with the Vishaya Buddhi. That is, where lies my gain and what will I gain here, gain there, selfishness, this and that. That has to be replaced by the Yoga Buddhi of Bhagavad Gita. Buddhau Sharanam Anviccha. This is the Yoga Buddhi, that whatever we are doing, we will not do with that selfish aim, with that idea of the small I gaining this or that, but we will do with the Jajna Buddhi, with the Samatva Buddhi, with the Yoga Buddhi. And by that what will happen? Through interactions our mind and intelligence will undergo transformation. There in the Upanishadic Kevala Jnana Nishtha, the mind and intelligence were emotion, everything. The being was undergoing transformation through constant meditating, contemplating, ruminating on the truth, on the soul, on the Brahman. Here it is happening the same thing, but through interactions the mind is no longer clinging to the fragmented world, no longer clinging to the likes and dislikes, but it is disassociating from that and more getting fused to our real identity. So here also, through the both cases it is the Viveka Buddhi. In one case the Viveka is between the true and the untrue, the permanent and the impermanent. Here it is the Viveka which is always telling us what is the constriction, where lies the expansion, where lies the yoga, and it is leading us through that. Through that, the Viveka Buddhi is undergoing a transformation, and finally the Viveka Buddhi is becoming the Brahma Buddhi, where the truth becomes realized. So that is what we meant by Buddhau Sharanamanvicha Kripana Phalahetavaha. That is how we have taken this title. I thought that we will speak about it, because I generally don't speak on Bhagavatam. I don't know. I have not read Bhagavatam. I don't know about Bhagavatam much. But I know, of course. Listening to Swamiji, I know. But I have never spoken on Bhagavatam. But it is the same truth which is spoken everywhere. So this is the way I just wanted to present the fundamental principle of Bhagavad Gita. We should understand that it is that transforming all our activities, so that the activities, instead of becoming hindrance to our sadhana, will become an instrument for sadhana, will take us to liberation. Instead of producing bondage, now the activities are producing bondage because of our desires, because of the carrot. That same activities, when it is done with the Jajna Buddhi, Samatva Buddhi, Yoga Buddhi, the same activities will take us to liberation. This is the fundamental concept of Bhagavad Gita. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhaswarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranomi. Prabuddham vimuktam vikaradihinam prasannam sada nitya bodhaswarupam param nishchalam nirgunam sarvarupam bhajeham sadanusmarami pranomi. Hari.